Welcome to Nerd Alert! We're back in the studio and I feel like I'm in a different world because I am. I spent the week at E3. I took my companions, my henchmen, Tim and Andrew with me. We had no, they're not my henchmen. We had a really interesting week of looking at all the new games that are coming out this year and maybe the year after as well, projecting a bit in advance. It's been crazy. Hopefully you've seen some of the videos by now. They're going up. They'll go up after this video airs. It'll be fantastic. So today we're going to have a little wrap up of this very big experience, and no one is hungover. Right, guys?
I'm definitely not hungover.
Yeah.
I'm good.
So that means we're all good.
Yep.
So let's see. Andrew came with me on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And you were the one to check out Arkham Knight, Shadow of Mordor, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, all the
X
Warner
with me.
Brothers interactive
Yeah,
stuff.
we did all that in one day.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Of those ones, I think Arkham Knight was definitely my favorite. I don't know if that's just because it
looked so good, though.
I mean, it looked great. The gameplay was awesome. I loved driving the Batmobile. I was already a fan of that particular franchise.
Well, it's back in Rocksteady's hands.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of was expecting to like it.
Mm-hmm.
Shadow of Mordor.
That was a big surprise.
Was pretty cool.
I was not expecting that.
I think that one, there's definitely, like with Arkham Knight, I definitely fell into it just like, oh yeah, I'm back playing another Arkham game. That's cool. But with Shadow of Mordor, the control system, the gameplay was so different.
Really? It felt really natural to me. But I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed too.
Yeah.
And it's very Assassin's Creed-esque in that...
It definitely is.
Well,
yeah.
the story is you're a ranger and you've been possessed by a wraith for reasons that were not explained to me. And you have something called like wraith vision and wraith mode, and when you enter that, it's a lot like Eagle vision or perhaps detective mode. And time moves a little bit slower. And it looks like when you know when Frodo had the ring on and it was like all white and wispy. That's what it looked like. So I guess a connection with evil forces. The demo that we were on was a lot of dominating orc hierarchy and their complex social structure. So we wanted to kill captains of the orc group leaders. Yeah. And then by them reaching their lieutenants, you can straight up kill them. You can control their minds and manipulate them, which was my personal favorite. And I played that game for an hour. You're not supposed to demo a game for an hour at E3. And I could have gone further. The guy there was just like, do you want to keep playing? And I said, no, I've lost 4 appointments now.
Yeah. I did think it was a lot of fun. I think there was a learning curve for me. I was not very good at it when we got started, whereas like with the Batman game, I very much just fell right into it.
I had the opposite.
Part of the problem though was that like I'm primarily an Xbox player, and they had the PS4 controllers, and they were like, all right, now hit X to do this, and I'm like hitting where I thought X was, and
X is different on every like it's different on the Wii U. It's different from like the X is always it's the consistent one.
So I don't blame the game. It's my
everywhere.
own damn fault.
It's different.
Now, Arkham Knight got delayed to
it will be pushed
indeterminate quarter in 2015.
Sometime in 2015. That's
Shadows
all
will be
they
worth
were
the
telling me.
wait. Shadows, and that's next gen only, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. And Shadows of Mordor.
You've seen Lord of the Rings. You know how that's pronounced.
Mordor. That's current gen and next gen, and still October.
Yep. And our friend Matt Mercer is in it.
Oh.
He voices several orcs.
Indeed. Yeah, and then Mortal Kombat was also fantastic.
It felt like Injustice, though. Like the controls, everything was the same.
I don't have a problem with that because I
know.
really like Injustice.
No, I liked it. It was and then we had that crazy over-the-top Mortal Kombat action. It was gross, but in a great way, in the best way. And we got to play some of the new characters. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Kotal Khan, who is the like Aztec
warrior
god. Who has like sun powers and stuff like that.
And
he's got that big ass like ceremonial like sword club thing.
Well, the thing is, he can have that because you get to choose one of 3 loadouts.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So you'll choose your character, and then there'll be 3 different choices. I guess you can call it a loadout after that. So one of them could be more offensively based, one could be more defensive, one could be kind of subversive.
Yeah, I always like the old like Marvel vs. Capcom system. Well, and it completely changes their fighting style. So like with Scorpion, for example, there's like ninja style or like fire style or one other one, where it just changes the entire set of moves that
Or you can have like some
do.
kind of weapon
Yeah.
Okay.
as a choice. I had fun with Cassie Cage, who I believe is related to Johnny Cage. So
Okay.
that kind of fun. And then Sub-Zero's still my dude. So.
And Kim threw an old woman at me. There's a marketplace.
And then we played the game.
There's a marketplace is one of the levels that you can play, and the environments have interactive elements to them. And so there's like this old lady walking by in the market, and Kim just like picked her up and chucked her at me.
There's a water level. Well, it's like on a dock, and there's like corpses being washed up from the water. And then if you get it at the right moment, you can grab the waterlogged corpse and use it as a weapon too. So Mortal Kombat.
Work with what you got.
Yeah.
It's appropriately goofy and disgusting.
Okay, good.
So something you both were able to see with me, because I saw it twice, was Assassin's Creed Unity, which I'm really excited for. So this is, I really liked the 4-player aspect of it. So it's set in France during the French Revolution. There's a lot of strife going on, obviously, between the classes, and we're right in the middle of that. I hear Napoleon is going to be in the game, though he was not in the demo.
He's only going to be in it, though, like just a little bit.
Oh. So, and then, so during the demo, it was like a mission to kill this marquis, and it was set in this beautiful ballroom with a painted ceiling, and there's this woman there who's like, "I assure you, the rabble rousers will not be," and then a brick flies through the window, hits her in the head, knocks over the cake, and it's fantastic. But I like the 4-player element where you are able to strategically plan something. So let's say, you catch a guard's attention, but your friend can cover for you, and then you cover for your friend.
Yeah,
and
that was the
endlessly.
coolest part for me, was that when they showed in the 4-player that like there's a guard here, there's a guard here, and if you kill this guy, the other guy is totally going to see you, so you have 2 people just leap on them from above and kill them simultaneously. Like, I like that idea of a coordinated attack.
And I liked how, at least in the mission that we saw, it was a lot more about facilitating the angry revolution getting into the palace than it was about you actually killing people. You strategically killed 2 people, which allows everyone to flood in and kill everybody else.
You're right. We didn't. The protagonist didn't actually kill the target, the aristocrat man who had lost, connection with the people. The people did it. So it was like leading a revolution. It also seems like this assassin is more focused on making a statement and not really hiding in the shadows. Because as you'll see in the demo that they showed on the first day too, that it involved a man was being executed via guillotine, and this, I think he's a Templar, I'm not sure, they wouldn't tell me, but he was talking to the crowd like, you listen, you fall in line. So the assassin jumps on top of the guillotine and then assassinates him from above in front of a huge crowd. The crowd runs off. The crowd is an interesting part because that scene involved a crowd of 1,400 individuals, and they had
French people.
And they had said that each separate crowd person, member of the crowd, has their own kind of objective and AI. And it was a little wonky at times.
I'm a little skeptical about 1,400 AI running at once.
Well, they say they can do 5,000.
Okay, I'm really skeptical about that.
Yeah.
I'll reserve judgment, though.
We'll see.
But, so I feel as though this game, and specifically that demo, made a lot of people in the audience think, wow, I think I need to get a better PC. Or, man, I should pull the trigger on a PS4. Yeah. I was not super excited about Unity when we went to E3. I was super excited about The Division and about Far Cry 4. But now I'm like really excited about this Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
And I know that this week kind of the shit has hit the fan for Ubisoft in terms of the whole debacle over what they said about female playable characters.
What did they say? I've been in a bubble.
None of the 4 assassins in the co-op are female.
Right.
All 4 assassins in the co-op are one guy, though. They're all Arnaud, who is the main character, but like 4 different versions of him from 4 different people. So it's a highly customized version. Like maybe you'll pick up this green coat on this mission, or maybe you'll pick up this sword from, it was used in this other assassination. So is it really to play devil's advocate, is it really sexist if 4 versions of the same guy are just that guy?
That's my job, Kim. You're doing my job.
Your job is to derail me, and you've done it 4 times now.
Where the issue came up is not necessarily about the decision to make 4 male characters. It was the excuse that they tried to make.
What was the excuse?
They said that it was, from a development standpoint, that it was not going to be achievable for them that they would have to do double the amount of work in order to create a female character that people
For
could play.
co-op? But they were doing that in Brotherhood and Revelations. I don't understand the differentiation
It's a little
here.
fucked up.
I think it was not a PR person that made that statement. So maybe they worded it not right and the press ran with it. They decided they didn't want or need a female playable character in the game. That's their prerogative. It would have been nice to have some options, especially since there's such an emerging female gamer market to capitalize on, but they didn't, so it goes.
So it's been a whole debacle for them. I'm not going to push getting into it too much because I want to keep wrapping up E3.
I don't think I understand enough of the situation to
maybe we'll do
talk
like
about it.
a
Yeah,
separate story on that
I'll do
at
some
some point.
research.
Yeah.
So let's talk more about E3. What was your
what did
highlight?
you see?
Yeah, so I was bummed I didn't get to see Arkham Knight and Shadows of Mordor. I was looking forward to those, but I was stoked that I got to be part of the Division demo. I was really excited to see that. This game looks like it has all the makings of a game of the year if they do it right. Everything that I've seen about it looks so good and so polished and so interesting.
That trailer was heartbreaking.
Yes, there is a trailer. I don't know if our whole audience has seen that
No,
yet.
it's out. It's public.
Okay.
Yeah.
But even like the hands-off demo that they did for us, where it was
2 players on controllers, but 1 player on an iPad as the eye in the sky drone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This drone character was tagging targets, like seeing ahead, like moving along. Like it was more of an assistant character.
And
so
it was almost like the iPad was being used as a controller, like a Wii U style kind of thing, because like the drone movement on the iPad, you could see
matched.
in game above you moving
Wow.
1-to-1, and troop movements from the game you could see happening on the iPad. So it was cool. It was like a new, interesting way to play this game. I wouldn't want to be the drone when I could be the badass with the guns and the grenades and shit. But it's still a cool idea.
you give the drone character to your friend who's not very good at shooters, and then they get to play too.
That's fun.
Oh, everyone's included. So you and I also got to check out Far Cry 4.
Yes, Far Cry 4 was hands-on. We did get to play that. Now, it was just the demo that the videos that we've already seen were that one fortress you get to storm. You get to do it one of 3 different ways. Like
We chose different ways.
yes, we did. The way that neither of us chose with like the big gun, you just run in and start shooting stuff, right? Did you pick that one or did you pick the elephant?
No, I got on board with the elephant and I crashed the gate open and stepped on everyone.
Yes, riding on an elephant, killing everyone. Not PETA approved in any way. I got on a gyrocopter and rained down grenades from above until they figured out where I was and shot me out of the sky.
Oh.
That sounds every bit
Tragic.
as insane as I would expect it to be.
Yeah, it
That's
seems insane. And the villain, he's an interesting character, as was the villain of the previous Far Cry. So this could all, it's set in a totally different place. But I see what they're going with here.
Oh, speaking of insane games, we got to check out Sunset Overdrive.
Man, that game was weird.
It's a really weird game. It was definitely fun, and it had that kind of like, I don't know, party with your friends type feeling to the gameplay.
Well, it's like this 8-player co-op, not like 4 versus 4. So
yeah, so it was 8-player Chaos Squad is what they called it, and you have to defend your vats of Overdrive.
Okay.
Right.
Overdrive is this liquid that is ostensibly an energy drink, but actually turns you into a mutant.
Right.
Would we compare it to, what was that game? Splatoon? Did you guys
I didn't
see
play
the demo for
Splatoon.
that? It was over in Nintendo. We didn't get to check that out, but I saw the trailer for it. And I talked to some people that played it, and they said it was the most fun thing at EA to do.
Interesting.
E3?
E3, yeah. You play as like a person who could turn into a squid and is made of ink, and you splatter ink all over the place.
I saw that in the digital
That's cool.
event, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can like be the squid and you sneak in the ink and you can jump out and
Yeah,
like,
it's
scare your enemy.
a little bit Team Fortress, but with all the Nintendo charm.
Speaking
Nice.
of Team Fortress, I got to play Battlecry.
Nice.
So that was fun.
What'd you think?
It does feel like Team Fortress, but it's the art style is very beautiful. It's highly stylistic, and the reason that they gave that, like why everything is so exaggerated, all the movement, all the sword swinging and leaving like a trail, and the sun being saturated, is that you're supposed to be in the mind of a soldier who is very close to death, and your adrenaline is pumping, and everything seems like more real to you, hyper realistic. So that's the explanation of the art style. It is really the combination of brutality and beauty. And it's this world, it's a world where World War I happened hundreds of years before it was supposed to happen. And there was a treaty signed, and now you live in a world without gunpowder. So, and then it's these three forces, only two have been introduced. It's the Royal Marines, the British people, the Cossacks, the Russians. And we're finding each other, and of course, like you die frequently and you respawn, and you can switch character classes in there.
Just like actual World War I.
Oh yes, totally.
Why do...
Only 3 classes were available though.
Which ones?
Enforcer, Tech Archer, and Duelist. Brawler and Gadgeteer are not available yet.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's not available for anyone yet because the beta isn't until next year.
Right.
Yeah, it's still a long ways off.
Yeah.
Why do game companies need to justify their art style?
Um,
Why do they need to
I
say
think
it's in a
that's-
soldier near death and adrenaline? It's just like, this is the art style we picked. Doesn't it look
No.
like fun? Don't you
But
want to play it?
Doesn't it sound more interesting with that explanation?
Meh.
Because I like to. They're trying to capture the horror of war, the feelings you would get when you were close to what is almost certainly your death.
I just don't see it's necessary.
I mean, I'm kind of with Tim on this one.
Gross.
No, just like I looked at it and
It's
I was
beautiful.
like,
It's a good-looking
this looks
game."
really cool. I would play that game because it looks cool.
I tried all 3 classes. I'm definitely an enforcer. So that's the one of the big Final Fantasy sword.
Nice.
Yeah. So when we play that, that's my role, and you two can take other things.
Awesome.
And then I tried The Evil Within, which I saw a presentation of last year. It's from Shinji Mikami. He is the creator of the Resident Evil series. He is considered the, I don't know if they're saying father or godfather of the survival horror genre. And as you know, I don't do well in survival horror. It's too scary. And this game is too scary. It's so scary. I can't handle it. I couldn't, I died once and I was like, I'm done. I can't. No. And
Just like in real life.
yeah, I'll die once and I'll
And
be
then
done.
you're done.
It's so frightening. You feel utterly helpless most of the time. Bullets are in very short supply, so you have to be very careful with them. The enemies, oftentimes the undead, they cannot be killed via melee. Anything that you like hit down can spring back to life unless like you burn it, and matches are in short supply too. So you're always in danger. And then there's some enemies you can't fight at all. You just have to run.
All right.
It's so scary. And we played it in a really dark room, and the noises. Good job, good job.
Really
I mean,
crafted an experience
it
for
was
you.
so scary. And I also got to play Borderlands, the pre-sequel. As we know, I'm a big fan of the Borderlands series, more so than anyone here, by far.
So
And
the pre-sequel is the one that's in the low gravity environment?
yes, it's on the moon of Pandora, which I forgot the specific name, but it's low gravity, and you have to find, you will run out of oxygen, so you need to get to certain places where you can refill on that. You can use
Just
your
like
oxygen.
Sonic underwater levels. I hate that.
No, it's not nearly as bad. Like, you can spend a while without going to the oxygen places.
Okay, good.
And you can spend the oxygen to help you like blast around if you want. There's like, when you jump in the air, you can like stomp really hard on your enemies. You can freeze them and then stomp on them, or just freeze them. There are only 2 playable characters, and that was Athena and Wilhelm. No Claptrap.
Does Wilhelm scream when he dies?
No, I don't know.
In space, no one can hear you scream.
I didn't.
Okay.
I played as Athena because I'm a chick. No, because that's the one they gave me. And well, we do know that this will not be on the next gen. It's 360 and PS3.
Really?
It feels very much the same
mean,
as
it's the same
Borderlands
engine.
2.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it's different character classes, and you have the whole low gravity and oxygen element. This is kind of Handsome Jack's origin story. So at the beginning of this, he's a guy with good intentions. We're actually on a mission to help protect people on the moon on his orders. And then it's kind of, we're watching him spiral into a megalomaniac, insane, crazy person. But also
the handsome Jack we know and love.
The handsome Jack we know and love. But with Borderlands style humor.
Right.
So I really like it, but I think I'm heavily biased since I love Borderlands so much.
Hey, don't be embarrassed of what you like.
I'm not embarrassed. I'm proud. And I got to check out Sid Meier's Civilization Beyond Earth, which is like the sci-fi Civ.
Cool.
Yeah, it's more than just like a reskin of, you know, oh, it's the space agriculture. You know, it's different.
Spagriculture?
Is that a word? I guess
Yeah.
pre-sequel is a word now too because people said it so much. But it's like, it's humans, we've left Earth, we're on a new planet. There's 3 different affinities you can choose. One of them would be to combine with the alien race. Even
Sexy.
like with like bioengineering too, like to absorb their culture and their values. One is to preserve Earth values. And another one is, I forgot the word for it, but it's akin to domination. Pretty much you're going to take over the world and kick out all other factions who do not support your point of view.
I feel as though those were the same 3 options at the end of Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose the one where I kill everyone.
Okay, yeah, I figured.
Just like I did in Mass Effect 3.
So I know that both of you guys got to try the new Battlefield Hardline.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, how much
Little John was there.
from Robin Hood?
No, from rapping.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
I mean, is it just another Battlefield?
Battlefield
or,
isn't
or
my
is it different?
favorite,
The
to be
internet,
honest.
the internet is shitting on this game right now, and I'm not exactly sure why. I'm sure they'll tell me in the comments. The experience that I had was a mixed bag. The game itself I really enjoyed. EA kind of ferried us into a line, and then we did this whole thing where we were role-playing prisoners.
That pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah, I know. I was there. So they gave us like dog tags, and we took mugshots. But like I had to log in with my Facebook account, and they like posted stuff on Facebook.
They didn't tell us
like
they were
I
going to
wrote
do
it.
it.
Yeah,
It was
they
like,
did not
hey
say
friends,
that. Kind of
I'm
an invasion of
getting
privacy
real
that
now.
I expected from EA. So I had to delete those. And then they pushed us into this little room, like a holding cell kind of thing, and we were there for like almost 30
Okay,
minutes.
I talked to
in
my
this hot
friend.
room.
He said he was only there for like 4 minutes.
It's because
the president of EA was ahead of us, and they were doing something for him.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So
We got cut in line by the CEO of
EA held us in an interrogation room for almost half an hour
with Lil Jon.
with Little John, and he was like, "What?"
Okay. But when we actually got to play the game, it was a lot of fun. It felt like Battlefield, except you were cops and robbers instead of just soldiers on a battlefield.
Well, this is Visceral's take on it,
Yes,
not Dice's.
not Dice.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and Visceral is known for Dead Space. I guess they had the idea that they brought to them that we want to do cops and criminals.
Yeah, I mean, it looks to me like a super amped up version of like the shootout from Heat.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
And-
it's just, you know, Battlefield has never really been my thing. I understand that it's, you know, a lot of people may love it. It's just not for me. I'm gonna play it so I can give you my experience, but it's not my favorite, to be perfectly honest. It never has been.
I just find like cops and bank robbers a more compelling story than one army versus another army.
Yeah. I haven't really been into the Battlefield franchise since 1942, and
You're old.
I know. But this one, the premise of this is different enough that like I'd be willing to give it a try.
Yeah, I think they're marketing it wrong because it's like coming out the same day as Battlefield 4 DLC. So they're
Right.
like, is this just another DLC? Is this really a AAA title that you're giving us, or is this just like, you know, oversaturating the market? So I don't know if it's going to actually do well. I had fun with it, so.
So that's a nice shirt you're wearing, Tim.
Thank you. Yes. Speaking of EA, we also got to see some Dragon Age Inquisition. That was like a 36-minute demo. We saw like quite a bit of that game. It wasn't hands-on, but it was cool.
Well, it's still an alpha.
Oh yes, still an alpha. This is not a release till 2015, right?
I think so.
And I'm almost positive this is the next gen only.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Finally, my PS4 has stuff that I want to play on it.
So yeah, if you're a Dragon Age fan, especially the first Dragon Age, it looks
Origins.
like you're like really gonna like this.
Yeah, well, it's a
super
return
polished.
to a lot of the places that you saw in Dragon Age Origins Ferelden. So Red Cliff, we saw. It looks so different, though. Like, even the geography was different. So maybe it's a different side of Red Cliff. I don't know. Liliana was in our version of the demo. There were 3 different ones because it started with different. Like, ours was a Canary female mage, but it could also have been, you know, a warrior or a
Right,
rogue.
there's like 4 races.
There's 4
and
races
3
and 3 classes
2 genders
and 2 genders. So that's quite a few choices.
What was I going to say? Oh, so the play style in this is a lot more tactical than action based.
Yes.
And I remember that the PC version of Origins had some of this in it, where you could like.
Well, the trading of, you know, moving into your companions and playing as them, that's been persistent, you know, but it's like a more amped up version of that.
Yes, very much so.
And then they all have like specific talents in battle that they could use that you might want to take advantage of. Besides, you know, I need a rogue to open this door.
Again, these games are only as deep as you play them, so there was just a lot more room for strategy and like, you know, choke points and like blocking
That's
off.
where you set the traps.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, when I played Dragon Age Origins, I had a big sword and I hit people with it. I'm sure that I could have played 1,000 better ways.
Look, remember when I first started playing Dragon Age and I was like, I hate this game because I was playing as a mage and I hated the mage origin story. But then I played as a warrior and now it's like, this game has a special place in my heart. So it does depend on how you play it and what your personal style is.
And that's where the replay factor comes in
Yeah.
too.
Well, you know, with BioWare, I always play their games the same way. Because I feel bad, you know. I can't be a renegade shepherd. I can't do that to the people, and I
Right.
can't cheat on my love interest. That would be wrong. So I never really changed the choices I made the first time.
The thing that I'm most excited about in this game is they showed a dragon fight. They pretty much had to. But it looked a lot more in-depth and a lot more fun than the dragon
Previous
fights we've seen
dragons.
before. You could target specific limbs. There were stages to the battle. You know, it looked like you really needed to use.
Well, they had that
a whole party
strategic,
worth
like,
of-
time freezing element. It feels more like certain JRPGs I played before, where it's
You
like
fill
it's,
up a meter. and
you
then
fill up a
use that.
meter, and it's kind of almost like I sort of like real time because I have to think fast. And this one is just like, oh, okay, first I'll use the freeze spell, and then I'll have the rogue do a backflip and shoot in the eye. You know, it's if you like strategy, then you'll like this game. It's a different element.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, so I'm dying to ask you about the order.
Oh yeah, I played it, and you chumps didn't. No, that was the day that neither of you were there.
Yeah, I just didn't have time to check it out, but that is one of the games that I'm very, very excited about. That's
You
coming out
like
soon. 'Cause,
something that's
oh my God, I like
steampunk and
steampunk.
paranormal,
I know, it's crazy.
and the girl had the same hairstyle as your girlfriend. Weird. Yeah, it was fun. So the demo I played, I was in a mission in London to. I had to escort someone through a distillery and blow something up, and I learned about the black water and the black site. The black water is something these are King Arthur's knights, but sorta not really. You'll understand more later. And they've prolonged their lives via this black water, and it prolongs your lifespan about tenfold. So they've been around for a while, though they're not the first iterations of each knight. And it also gives you the black sight, which is almost like a bullet time.
Oh, cool.
So time slows down, and you're able to like, oh my gosh, it looks so cool. Like you shoot someone who's like falling in the bullet time, but like, you remember Quicksilver in that one scene in X-Men?
Yeah.
It felt like that a little bit.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it was really fun.
I imagine there's maybe also similar to like the Deadeye mode in Red Dead Redemption or something.
And the weapons were really cool. They only showed us 2, and they only let us use 1. I explained it. It was like it was a 2-parter weapon, and it was interesting because it had to be somewhat futuristic, but also believable for this time period. So the 18th.
Hence the steampunk.
Hence the steampunk. And some people like it. And
Right,
what it
your
was
steam-powered
I was
wheelhouse.
firing, I think, thermite. I might be incorrect on that. Please
Okay.
forgive me. And it makes a cloud, like this black cloud around my enemies. And they're coughing, they're stunned.
They don't like it
They don't like it.
at all.
But then I made it even worse by doing the second part of the gun, which was igniting everything in that cloud on fire.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it was for them. I had fun. And then there was a lightning gun that I didn't get to use because my companion had it and they didn't want it in the demo.
So one of my big questions about the game is that in all the gameplay trailers that we've seen on this, you can, it gets very hazy and because it looks so cinematic. And where is the line between like the QuickTime events / cinematics
Andrew,
and like the
there is no
actual
line.
gameplay?
So what I talked to some of the developers, and all the cinematics I view were not pre-rendered. They were being made in real time in the PS4. So whatever customizations you have done, it will look that good, like it is in a pre-rendered cutscene, but it's not pre-rendered. It's being made right there. It's weird to say, like there were bags under people's eyes and really realistic skin. And it looked like that persistently. Like when I was ducking and covering and shooting, it still looked that good. So this will be a next gen, show off kind of game.
Yeah,
PS4
that's definitely the
PS4
impression that I get.
exclusive, yes. So that was fun. I also played Little Big Planet 3, which does not have the same graphical excellence, but it's still very, it's a step up. So before they had dimensions of like up, down, low, and now it's like closer to the screen, further away, way up, way down. There's 3 new characters. Sackboy has some new moves. It's super adorable. I played as Oddsock. It's like a little dog, and it runs really fast. It's so cute. So cute. What else?
So one of the big highlights for me was getting to try out the Oculus. It was a very interesting experience, just because I feel like with a lot of this other stuff, yes, having a hands-on demo is fantastic when you get that opportunity, but at the end of the day, you can still kind of get the flavor of a game by looking at, gameplay footage or trailers or whatnot online. But the Oculus for me was something that like you really have to see it yourself in order to understand like what the big deal is.
Yeah, it was hard for us to do that video because I cannot portray on camera what it was like to have it on my head and be in this world. It's like, well, I had headphones on and a headset in front of me, so I have my hearing and my sight are totally knocked out from my real world.
Right.
I'm in a different world. So, and when you look around, you see, it's like as if you're in a room and you see what's actually behind you. And then if you look down, like you see your feet and you want to like move your feet and think it's the same. It's not the same.
Yeah, with the current version that they have, like you can, if you focus your eyes in the right way, you can definitely see the pixels in the screen that you're looking at. But I know that that's something that's probably the first thing that they're going to be like upgrading when they do the public release of it. But the 3D and just the complete wraparound vision is really, really amazing. And it wasn't even that uncomfortable to wear.
Well, we were only wearing it for about 10 minutes, so maybe after a few hours it would be a lot. But I do think that VR is a really interesting medium that we're going to be seeing more of. I mean, this year we only saw a little bit, maybe 3 or 4 games from Oculus, and I didn't get to check out the Morpheus, but I'm sure it wasn't huge. But I think next year we're going to see a lot more of that. It was a really interesting experience. I took some getting used to with my spatial reasoning because my brain felt like I was moving, but I wasn't moving. But it's really interesting hardware. And I do think it's more than a fad now that I've actually tried it.
Absolutely. So Kim and I did play 2 different demos. One of them was Alien Isolation, where you have no weapons and you're walking through this dark spaceship and an alien is searching for you. And
a proper alien xenomorph.
Yes,
alien, right? Okay.
From the movie Alien. Kim got really freaked out about it, and I have a video, and we will post that video.
You owe me an
hilarious.
apology, is what needs to happen now.
Yes. But then, so that was really cool, and that definitely highlighted, the power of the Oculus for the first-person VR experience.
Immersive.
But then we also played this interesting platformer called Lucky's Tale.
It reminded me a little bit of Mario or Sonic.
It
was cute.
It was like Mario 64 meets Sonic a little bit, and it was just adorable and fun and bright and colorful. But it was like a third-person platformer.
Well, you know how you have the one stick that's like the camera. That's now your head. So I was doing this a lot I was aiming at a target, so I had to move my head to aim, and I looked really stupid in real life, like I do now.
Yeah, and so you wouldn't think that was something that would be like a selling point of the Oculus, but it did kind of suck you into the game a little bit more, even though you're watching this little character from kind of far away move around in this world. The fact that you can see the whole rest of the world all around you and turn your head to look at different things and see when an enemy is coming up. I thought it was pretty interesting, and I was not expecting that when we went in for the demo of the Oculus. So
yeah, it refreshingly surprised me. I was not expecting that, but show me more, VR companies.
All right, anybody have anything else, or are we wrapping this up?
We didn't get to see The Siege, the new Rainbow Six game, which was announced at E3. Mm-hmm. I'm disappointed that the lines were too long and our appointment got pushed back to one day.
It got pushed, well, it interfered with a different appointment. I had to make a hard choice. I chose something else, so sorry.
So that was like, that was really like biggest surprise of EA and
E3.
E3, I keep saying
Stop giving EA so much credit.
Bad.
That was Ubisoft.
Hey, you guys just had a 5-minute Facebook commercial for the Oculus, all right?
It's not, listen.
I can mix up EA and E3 sometimes.
It's not a commercial. I'm talking about the hardware. I got a lot of tweets like, how dare you, it's Facebook and our privacy. And it's like, yes, I understand that that is a huge issue, but today we are just looking at the hardware and getting a feel of the hardware. Those are, I'm not undermining the seriousness of the privacy issue, but the truth is we don't have a policy out on that yet, so I can't really judge that aspect as of yet. But I will once I have evidence, which is normal and
The check
proper.
that they got from Facebook is really not that big, so don't worry about it. These are honest opinions here.
I am going to punch you in the heart. So what else do we have going on? Anything else you wanted to discuss?
I mean, just stuff that we didn't see. I didn't get to see Uncharted 4's. I guess it wasn't even a demo. It was just a trailer that they were showing off.
Yeah.
I'm
so
sure
my
it looked
boyfriend's
gorgeous.
back, guys.
Yeah.
My boyfriend Nathan Drake is back.
Looking better than ever.
I know.
And we didn't get to see any of the stuff Nintendo was showing off in their digital.
The digital press event.
Yeah. Did we make it over to Nintendo at all?
Nope.
Okay, that's a shame.
Yeah. Well, I only got to see a little bit of the Sony and Xbox booth too.
There's only so many days.
See, it's like, it's impossible. I was supposed to go over to Telltale too, and I couldn't get that going because I had so much other stuff to do. It's hard to get every single thing, and I wish I could.
What was Telltale showing off? Just the Borderlands?
Tales from the Borderlands. I don't think they were doing Game of Thrones yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's not out yet, or not even available to preview yet.
Okay, that's all I have to say.
So, yeah, E3, lots of fun. I'm very, very tired. I'm glad to be back home here in the studio. But we saw a lot of great things coming out for gaming soon, and we're going to get those videos out to you. And I'm going to go take a nap, and everyone's going to have a wonderful time. What was your favorite thing that you saw or maybe experienced from E3? Let us know below in the comments, and be sure to tweet us and Facebook us. It's all good. It's all an evolving discussion.